My mother-in-law wanted every eye on her at my wedding, so I let her have exactly that. Every glance, every photo, every whisper. By the next morning, she wasn't just the talk of the wedding. She was the talk of the entire internet. My name's Lila. I'm 29, a graphic designer, and I've always been the kind of person who avoids drama at all costs. I believe in kindness, in keeping the peace, even when people test my patience. But when it came to my wedding, the one day I'd dreamed about since I was little, someone decided peace wasn't enough. Someone decided they deserved to be the center of attention. Never thought I'd need revenge on my own wedding. But when my mother-in-law showed up wearing white, the same shade as my gown, I realized the woman who raised my husband wasn't just controlling. She was competitive. From the moment we got engaged, she treated the wedding like a stage she owned. Every conversation started with, "When I got married," and ended with how I should do things her way. The dress, the menu, even the seating chart, she had an opinion on everything. At first, I tried to be polite. I told myself she was just excited, that maybe she felt left out. I wanted to be the bigger person, the calm bride who didn't let drama ruin her day. But looking back, that patience was the rope she used to hang my peace of mind. It started small. She criticized the ring my husband picked, saying, "Oh, that's quaint, but my son has always been frugal." She called the venue, too modern. She told my florist she'd approve the arrangements before they were finalized. Without asking me, I should have stopped her then, but my husband kept saying, "She means well. Don't take it personally." That line, "she means well," became my personal curse. A week before the wedding, she called to ask what I was wearing. When I told her the dress was traditional white lace with an off-shoulder neckline, she laughed lightly. "How classic," she said. "You know, I always thought ivory suits our family better than pure white." It didn't register right away. I was too busy with final details, catering confirmations, seating arrangements, and last-minute vendor calls. I didn't think she'd actually cross that line. Then came the day. When she stepped out of her car, I swear time froze. She was wearing a long, floor-length ivory gown, beaded sleeves, flowing train, a veil, not a hat or a fascinator, a veil. My maid of honor gasped. The photographer stopped mid-click. Someone whispered, "Is she serious?" She was. My stomach turned cold, but I forced a smile. I told myself I wouldn't give her the satisfaction of seeing me break. She wanted attention, and I'd give it to her. Just not the kind she expected. During the ceremony, she positioned herself in every photo angle she could. Whenever the photographer asked the family to step aside, she lingered, pretending to adjust her jewelry. In half the shots, she's right beside me, white dress glowing like a spotlight. At the reception, she upped her game. She gave a toast that was really a 10-minute speech about how she raised such a wonderful boy who finally found someone who almost lives up to his standards. People laughed awkwardly. I kept smiling, my fingers pressed tight around my champagne glass. That night, while everyone danced, I slipped away to a quiet corner of the venue. And that's when my best friend, who was also my event coordinator, came to me with an idea. "You know she's trending already, right?" she said. I frowned. "What?" She showed me her phone. Guests had been posting pictures on social media. Caption after caption, "Who wears white to someone else's wedding? Mother-in-law or rival?" That's bold. Hundreds of comments were flooding in. The post was going viral in local circles. That's when it hit me. I didn't need to confront her. I didn't need to shout or cry. I just needed to let her dig her own grave, and maybe give her one small push. I went back to the reception and whispered something to the photographer. "Can you make sure to capture every photo of her next to me?" He grinned. "Oh, I've got you." By the end of the night, she'd positioned herself in enough pictures to fill an entire album. 2 days later, when the professional photos came in, I uploaded one single post on Instagram. It was a carousel of images, me and my husband smiling beautifully. And right behind us, always in frame, was his mother, glowing in her white gown, veil shining under the lights. I added a simple caption, "Such a beautiful wedding." Everyone looked stunning, especially our surprise second bride. Within hours, it exploded. People shared it, commented, tagged their friends. The internet turned her fashion choice into a meme. One user wrote, "Imagine being so desperate for attention that you cosplay as the bride." Another, "That's not ivory. That's insecurity." She called my husband. "Furious. She's humiliating me publicly," she screamed. He tried to defend her at first, until he saw the comments himself. Then he just sighed and said, "You kind of did this to yourself, Mom. For once." He didn't defend her. She deleted her social media a week later. But the real revenge wasn't the viral post. It was how people treated her after. Every family gathering, someone would joke, "Don't wear white," or she might show up. She became the punchline of her own obsession. Months later, she tried to apologize, though it sounded more like damage control. "I didn't realize the color was so similar," she said, avoiding eye contact. I smiled. Of course. It happens when you're blinded by the spotlight. I thought that would be the end of it, but karma wasn't done. My husband's cousin got married the following year. She specifically requested that everyone wear pastel shades. My mother-in-law showed up in silver. "Not white," she said proudly. But when the photos came out, her dress looked almost identical to the bride's once again. Thanks to the lighting. The family laughed for months. She swore off attending weddings for a while. Every now and then, I still get tagged in that old post. People remember the picture, the smug look on her face, the way she stood too close, trying to steal the spotlight. They call it the two brides meme, but behind every laugh, I remember the quiet strength it took not to lose my temper that day, because revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's elegant. Sometimes it's just a reflection of someone's own vanity. She wanted attention. I gave her more than she could handle. If you'd asked me then whether I regretted posting the photos, I might have hesitated, but now? No, because the post didn't just expose her behavior. It exposed something deeper about control and boundaries. Before the wedding, she controlled the narrative. She'd tell everyone how she was helping, how I was grateful to have her guidance. But after that post, people saw the truth, not because I told them, but because she showed them herself. That's the beauty of poetic revenge. It uses the other person's ego as the weapon. Still, what hurt most wasn't the dress. It was realizing that the woman who was supposed to become my family saw me as competition. I spent months wondering why. Then one afternoon, when my husband and I visited his parents for dinner, she slipped. "You just remind me too much of me," she said quietly, pouring herself a glass of wine. "When I was your age, I thought I was special too." It was the first time she admitted it, envy, raw and unpolished. She wasn't trying to sabotage me for fun. She was terrified of being replaced. And maybe, in her twisted way, wearing white wasn't just about stealing attention. It was about holding on to relevance. Understanding that didn't excuse her, but it helped me let go. Revenge isn't complete until you stop caring about their reaction. The funny part? That viral post ended up helping me in ways I didn't expect. I'm a freelance designer, and after the story made rounds online, a small boutique reached out, asking if I wanted to collaborate on a wedding collection inspired by the two brides. The irony wasn't lost on me. When the first collection launched, I invited only close friends and family to the showcase. My mother-in-law wasn't supposed to come, but she did. She sat quietly in the back, wearing beige this time. Afterward, she walked up to me and said, "You really turned that into something beautiful." For once, her tone was genuine. I smiled. "You gave me the inspiration," she laughed softly, shaking her head. "You got the last laugh, didn't you?" I met her eyes. "No, I just stopped playing your game." It's strange how time changes things. She's softer now. Maybe humbled. Maybe tired. Sometimes she jokes about her fashion mistake to break the tension, but she never, ever wears white anymore. A few months ago, A relative showed me an old family album. On the last page was a photo of my wedding, me and my husband cutting the cake, surrounded by laughter and lights. In the corner, you can see her, frozen mid-smile, in that ivory gown that started it all. It used to make me angry. Now it makes me laugh, because that picture isn't a reminder of humiliation anymore. It's proof that I didn't let someone else ruin my moment. People talk about revenge like it's always destructive. But sometimes it's just reclaiming your story. That day, she tried to rewrite mine. Now every time someone mentions that viral post, they remember one thing: the bride who stayed calm while the mother-in-law became a meme. And honestly, that's the sweetest revenge of all, and that's how my mother-in-law's white wedding moment became her biggest embarrassment. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more Reddit revenge stories just like this.